Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lucifer here once again. If it's your first time joining my channel, welcome. I am a business and spiritual consultant extraordinaire. Like I said before, if you're wondering what Lucifer is doing on earth, well, let me tell you. He's talking about what the earth is made of, which is what? Business and spirituality. So let's try to keep it civil. I curse too damn much. Let's try to keep it civil. I've been told to be regal, so I have to be regal. It's kind of weird. I can be regal, but it's kind of weird. I've been doing this I've been doing these videos on a specific platform for a couple of years now, so I feel like I want to entertain a little bit as I'm dropping these dimes. But anyway, let's give it a go. So apparently, can you shut that off, please? Just let it ring. All right. So let's do this, man. Today, some people, some spiritualists, a lot of people, a lot of non-believers have a certain point of view on how why there are people around people like me. Some people believe that the reason why these people are around me is because they might want to take advantage of me, or I want to take advantage of them. Other people tend to feel like I might be putting certain people under spells, and that's the reason why yada 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 blah blah blah, or twin flame, or blah 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 blah. There's a lot of speculations and assumptions, no pun intended, no offense meant, on how we are capable of attracting people. As I said before, laws of attraction is a real thing. It's a real thing. It comes from me, first of all. Some people believe that it comes from the Bible. I would say that it's something along those lines. It's always been here. We've always worked with it. We just didn't realize how true it was until right now. It's a new age. People are understanding things a little bit more. The spiritual gates are open. The spiritual world is open for everyone. A lot of people might be a little bit regressive. A lot of people might, might be holding on to their earthly values, which I can't do anything about. If you want to hold on to your earthly value, then hold on to it. I can't really. You're the one that has to do the work. I can't do the work for you. The thing about spiritualists like me, demonologists, it's part of the flair, it's part of the charm, it's part of the story, it's part of the timeline. The thing is, a person like me, not a person like me, that's not true. Me specifically, I have chosen to create a specific timeline, and that specific timeline involves other people, because I want to do great things. I already did great things. I don't have to do more great things. But I have stumbled upon this ridiculous amount of power which, if I follow the teaching of the Jewish, Christian, Catholic religion, would incline me to stay with my power and not do anything. I severely do not agree with that sort of thinking. I believe that if you have power, then you should indulge and you should use your power as you see fit. Of course, I would be more inclined to tell people to direct their power towards doing great works, building, creating, things, helping, whether it is on a mental level, like a mason is supposed to be doing, but don't do, or creating with your hands and using your imagination. That's another great way to exert your power. I do not believe in standing idly by. I do not believe that, especially if you have the power to do something, then you should. And I believe, in my stance, if you have the power to do something and you do not, then you are more guilty of sinning than the person accused of sinning. That's what I believe. So, on the subject of the opposite sex, let's not hide behind words here. On the subject of love or attraction, physical attraction, things like that, a lot of people are a bit too abrupt with their sexuality. There are people that are too abrupt with their ways of seeing the opposite sex. The problem is, you see the opposite sex as the opposite sex. You don't see people as an extension of yourself. When I look at people as extensions of myself. Specific people, not everybody. I also believe that I can create extensions of myself. So on the subject of love, I don't think that the people you meet are bad for you necessarily. I think that you might not know what to do with those people, or you don't understand the experience that they are bringing you. Whether it is negative or positive, you have something to learn. Not every extension of thyself is meant to remain into your existence, because sometimes a person is only a message and not an actual person. What? I'm sure people live that on a consistent basis, whereas a person is only a messenger and not an actual person that is supposed to remain in your universe. A lot of people are like that. And as for the extension of thyself, it's everybody that's around you. Everybody that's around you is an extension of yourself. So, in more or less manners, I think your discernment would be fair enough to find who is actually an extension of yourself and who isn't. Because we are not alone on this planet. There are dreamers who are the leaders of the extensions, and then there are sleepers who are the extension themselves. And I don't mean sleepers as sleepwalkers. I mean sleepers as, well, sleeper is a bad term. It's a pejorative fashion to explain that. It's for lack of better words. But just to keep it simple, we'll say instead of saying leaders and followers, which followers I do feel like is also a little bit pejorative, a small bit. I would say there are dreamers and sleepers. You see, the sleeper receives the energy of the dreamer. The sleeper understands what the dreamer is trying to do or saying or showing. The dreamer, his job is to sleep too. He has to dream. And once again, I'm speaking strictly on a mystical sense. I'm not talking about I'm not saying it on a negative, way, like, oh, the sleepwalker, or zombie, you're a zombie person, or you're a 2D person. No, absolutely not. I'm speaking on a mystical and strictly mystical fashion. On a mystical fashion, to explain it more in a way that you would understand. You have the leader and you have the follower. You have the student, you have the master. You have the dreamer and the person living the dream. Because the dreamer is not living the dream. The dreamer is making the dream. So when you walk about, and this goes for everyone, and it even goes on a day-to-day basis. Because on a day-to-day basis, you might feel like you're a dreamer. And on a day-to-day basis, you might feel like you're a sleeper. Why? Because sometimes you end up in somebody else's dream. Let's look at culture. No pun intended, but let's look at culture. Culture is a perfect example of dream sleep mentality. Once again, not on a pejorative, not in a negative way. So culture, there's leaders in the culture. So the dream is already made. The dream is already here. There's traditions, rule sets, principles, things you have to do. You already know what you have to do if you're in a specific culture. So if you're in the culture, you're not dreaming the culture. But if you are leading the culture, then you are the dreamer. On a regular, everyday to day life, you have friends. Sometimes you follow your friends. He's the dreamer on that day, on that specific hour, at that specific time. Let's go to the bar. He calls you up. He's dreaming. He's the one that's dreaming right now. He took control and he said, let's create something. That's what he was actually saying. He might not know, you might not know, and he might not know, but that's what you were actually doing. When he called you up, he said, yo, I want to create something. Let's do this. Call Bobby. Call Jimmy. Call Kevin. Let's go. Let's go create something. But then again, on another day, there might be Kevin that calls everybody up. And he's like, yo, let's go to this place, this event. So he's creating now. And everybody else is just along for the ride. They're sleeping for the time being. They're looking at his dream. Because only when you are asleep can you see a dream. You can't see a dream when you're awake. So what happens? So the question now is, what happens when two people are awake at the same time? Well, you got two dreams colliding within oneself. You're both co-creating at the same time. This happens to me. This used to happen to me quite often. Now that I think about it, now that I think about the past, me and my friends, my friend was awake, I was awake, and we were both creating at the same time. So our dreams would collide together because we were both awake. We were both leaders. So everybody else would listen to us and not just me or not just him, but both of us at the same time. Because our dreams collided. We were both on the same wavelength. Because when you go to sleep and you dream, it's all about wavelength. Everything is about vibration. So you can't have two people that want to dream at the same time but don't collide together. And then that creates discourse. That creates discord. So one person goes with the half of the friends towards what he wants to do, and the other person goes with his set of friends to go towards what they want to do. But at first they met up with each other. They had a discussion. And he was like, I want to dream this dream. And the other one was like, I want to dream that dream. So there's also, if you're paying attention, if you're reading between the lines, there's also a thing about emotions there a little bit. Feelings, I would say. And I would go as far as saying ego. So those two things, feelings and ego, might get in the way of a co-creation. If one or both of you have too much feelings and ego, you might not be able to dream a dream together. Because your emotions and your knowing, your perception of yourself, which is your ego, might not correspond to you being not the leader today, not the dreamer today. You want to be the dreamer, but he wants to be the dreamer too today. So what do? Do you go at both places and to be like, do you like do a compromise and go at both places and try to live both of your dreams during the day? No, absolutely not. Follow your instinct. You already started a dream. If the dream doesn't collide with the other dream, it doesn't matter. Just keep dreaming and see where this rabbit hole goes. Everybody has different experiences to live. Everybody has different experiences to live. Everybody got different knowledge to give. Everybody got different things they need to understand and perceive. But for the lucky ones that do have a set of people that they collide with on the same wavelength, you are all dreamers. So, and even if we're not talking about people on a group of friend level, let's say your everyday regular self is a dreamer. Your everyday regular self, without the notion of somebody else, even if you're with someone else at the time being, you are still a dreamer. So it's only you that decide if you want to go into somebody's dream, like Freddy Krueger, or you want to go live your own dream, like Freddy Krueger. But at the end of the day, whether you realize it or not, there are extensions of thyself everywhere and anywhere you look. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not, it's still there. The only difference between somebody that does not believe and somebody that believes is that he's not going to understand what he's looking at when he's looking at the world. You see, the Truman Show is a real thing. A lot of people perceive negative things and don't see the positive in the negative. Just like I always talk about, the government, you think it's a bad thing and you want to go destroy the government. You are the government, pardon my language. If you go destroy the government, you're only trying to destroy yourself. But it's complicated to understand. It's not easy to understand. And when you're looking at TV and media and the fake news and the Ocean 11 stunts to steal your soul and spirit that they do on a regular basis, you tend to feel like politics is a real thing. You tend to feel like there is a prime minister. There's no prime minister. There's no president. There's no prime minister. There's no president. There's nobody here, man. It's only you. It's only you. But the thing you're gonna need to understand is when you're dreaming, your brain puts images in your brain manifests situations in order for you to understand what's going on. So the same thing happens in real life. Life itself will create things in order for you to understand better what is going on. Because you're never really awake. We're in the matrix, right? We're all in the matrix. We're all in like pods and things like that. And there's like things feeding off our energy, just like in the movie. That's real shit. That's for real. The thing that's in the pod, when you look at the pod looks like you're a person, like you're a fetus. It looks like people are in fetuses, right? So what's really going on? That could be like a representation of the soul, whatever a soul is, or your spirit, whatever your spirit is. Right? So who's really feeding off of that energy? Life. You think it's a whole big conspiracy that, demons are feeding off of people that are in pods in the universe. No, relax. It's a normal process. It's just how life works. It's just, without that process, there would be no universe. People want to believe in God and stuff. Like, man, there's no such thing. There is the alpha male, which is me, Lucifer. But that's it. There is no God. God does not exist. It's a machine. And if God exists, it's a machine. It's a machine that makes sure that you are in the pod, if I can say it like that. If some people would rather me acknowledging God as being a thing, part of my language, then I would say that this thing is the only power it really has. It has power over the construct that surrounds your soul, but not your soul. It does not control your soul, but it controls the things that make sure that your soul is still connected to the universe. And I would say, and if I have to add my own opinion to that statement, because I don't want to give flowers to somebody I don't want to give flowers to, I would say that that's not even a real thing. I would say that whatever is keeping you inside of that pod, keeping you safe inside of that pod, is even older and greater and stronger than God. So whatever people keep calling God is actually paper mache. It's a construction. It's fake. It's a fugazi. It's vapors. It's clouds. It's not real. What is real is you. You're real. You actually exist. And you're the one that creates the universe. You are the universe itself. Without your life, without you, just like in the Matrix, the universe of the Matrix in the movie is only ran and taken care for. No. Sorry. The machines in the Matrix feed off of the energy off of the pods in the movie. And that energy keeps them alive enough for them to be able to create this world, generate this world. So they take care of the world, and your energy takes care of them, right? So if we put that whole Matrix analogy to the side, right? We put that to the side and we go back to you. Your soul creates the universe. So while you're living in the physical form, you're actually asleep. You're actually dreaming. And there's other people dreaming too. So a lot of people see a lot of their experiences as being negative stuff. There's a lot of titles being flown around like Twin Flame. We're going to go back to love now, like Twin Flame, Jezebel, and blah, 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 blah. Succubus, incubus, blah, 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 blah. All that is vapors. Of course, there's some entities, because we must not underestimate the power of the light, because the light still exists. There cannot be light without darkness, and there cannot be darkness without light, vice versa. So what is really happening when I manifest someone in my existence? And I'm not talking about an enemy. I'm not talking about somebody that's just there to embarrass you. And not all the time when you approach a woman and she says no, it's an embarrassment. There's something that made her say no. And if you're perfect and he or she had no reason to say no, maybe that's an enemy. And then now it's still a good thing that happened, because now you know you got enemies. The question is now, who is your enemy? And another question is, why are they attacking you? So now you got two great questions to ask yourself if it is true that you have stumbled upon a light being. If you stumble upon a light being and that light being is trying to create discord in your life, create negative things in your life, because that's what the light does. It creates negativity. It creates bad experiences for you to feel like you're human when you're supposed to feel something else, because the word human is a word made by men. So is all the other words. So there are things that we cannot explain and we cannot name, because we have no idea what these things are, why they are, and how they became to be. So we explain ourselves when we see somebody in the street. The best way to not freak out and go crazy and be in complete disarray and panic is by looking at somebody else and saying, you're human. And that other person, because he doesn't want to be in disarray and panic, he's going to be like, yeah, and you're human. But in actuality, that's not true. You're an entity creating the universe that you're living in at the present moment. So what is that? What do you even call that? What kind of shit is that? I don't know what that is. So I create things. Now that I know all these things, I create things. I don't see why I wouldn't. I don't remember that being a law. As a matter of fact, the law dictates that you must create. Even on the earthly realm. If you want to be considered a human, if you want to be considered period, you need to create. You need to create. You need to generate currency. You have to be part of the currencies in order to be considered a valid, valued person in the astral society that we have created, the cosmic society that we have created. So forget about magic, forget about mysticism, because even on the human realm, which the human realm is a representation of the higher self, which people tend to forget all the time and not respect because they don't know what the fuck they're doing and they don't understand what the fuck this thing's about, but they try to act like they do, and they just keep disrespecting everything that exists in the fucking universe and get away with it for some fucking reason. But in actuality, whatever you see here is a representation of whatever's going on upstairs or downstairs, however you want to see it. So this life, this physical life that we're seeing, is just a projection of the total chaos that's going on in what we call the universe, which is actually the ethereal verse. Because there's no such thing as the universe. The universe is a creation of the human mind. So in actuality, we're not talking about the universe. We're talking about the ethereal. We live beyond the universe. The universe is nothing. We live beyond the universe. We are creating the universe. Every time we are born, every time we have an idea, every time we exert our energy towards any form of information or creation of value, we're creating stars and planets in the universe. And stars and planets in the universe are moving because of our magnetic energy, our magnetic pull. Things in the universe are moving all the time. It's not because of a black hole. I'm not saying black holes don't exist. I'm just saying it's not because of the black hole that the black hole is there. There's a reason why the black hole is there. The reason why the black hole is there is because of your existence. The reason why a black hole started to create itself is because of your existence. The reason why a star burned out and became a planet is because of your existence. It's because you go at the gym and you burn too much calories. And now all those calories has become rock solid muscle mass. So now a star, instead of being a star, now you are a planet. You're ready. Because a star is only a planet that's not ready to be a planet yet. That's what it is. A star is only a piece of flaming rock that hasn't burned out yet. But when you burn out, that's not a bad thing. When your star burns out, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't let my star burn. No, that's what you want. You want your star to burn out. Because then you become a planet. Then you become a livable human being. Because right now, you're just a ball of fire. Nobody can live on your ball of fire. Nobody can stand on a ball of fire. When you become a planet, life can live on a planet. Life cannot live on a star. You know what I mean? So you want to become a star or you want to become a planet? Or are you already a planet and you just don't know because you think you're a star? But stars, planets are also stars because we see planet but from afar. And we can only see a planet from afar if that planet is surrounded by that planet will only become a star because it's next to another star, because it's light that's shining on the planet, and we can see the planet from that far. So sometimes a star is a planet, and sometimes a star is just the sun. So there's a difference, but we all see it the same. It's all the same at the end of the day. When you close out the lights and the night falls, all we can see is stars. But some of those stars are actual planets. They're not flaming balls of fury. So anyways, so what's the point here? The point here is, when you know all of these things, you understand that you can pluck things out of the universe and bring it to you. You understand that you already lived here. And since you already live here, you can find people that you've already been with and decide to be with them. Most of the time, what is attraction? Attraction is a magnetic feeling towards something that is familiar. Why is it familiar? Because you've already seen this person before. Your mind, your genetic code, which is your memory, which is the memory, the genetic memory of your DNA, your atomic composition, remembers all your past lives. So you are generally attracted towards a certain thing because you already know that certain thing, or you already are that certain thing. So once you understand that, you understand that you don't really need to look for the opposite sex. The opposite sex comes towards you. And not to be a Casanova here, but let's just say maybe you are doing work to attract someone and it did work. But the reason why it worked, is because you were already in that space. You just took control of your life and decided to go towards your ethereal self. So you're not, what are you really doing? Are you really attracting, women? Are you really attracting men? Yes and no. Yes and no. You're just plucking someone out of your multi-dimensional self, and you're saying, I want this, I want that, I want that person. That's what you're saying. So like I said before, a lot of people, oh, it's a miracle, God didn't know. He had nothing to do with it. You created the universe, and time and space is irrelevant. To your soul, there is no such thing as time. Your time is immemorial. Your soul is immemorial. So your soul lives in the future, the past, and the present on multiple timelines. Do you know how much people that is? I don't even believe that there's 6 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. I think there's more people than that. But imagine that times 1,000. 6 billion times 1,000. One Google people. So you're capable of plucking out of the one gazillion people that exist in the universe, time, history, and space at the same time. Because like I said before, time and space is irrelevant. So what you can live with someone. You can, if you want, if you have enough awareness, you can live. If that's what you like, you can be with a man or woman from the 1920s today. You will pluck out a 1920s woman out of the universe. And you will be happy to get it because she knows you and you know her. But for the uninitiated, for the unaware, for the novices, you will think that it's magic. You will think that you're Boss Hogg. You'll think that you're Casanova. You'll think you're a vampire and women cannot resist your deadly charms. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to diss you. You might be. It doesn't change who you are. But at the end of the day, you got to know where these entities, these people, these special individuals come from. They don't come from your time and space. They don't come from your immediate reality. They come from an alternate reality. You are an alternate reality person. You are a multiversal person. Avengers Endgame. All the comic books talk about multiverse. Everybody's talking about the multiverse. The reason why everybody's talking about the multiverse is because there's something grandiose to understand from it. But a lot of people are trying to stay away from it. A lot of people don't understand it because they think it's science, but it's not science. It's actually mysticism. Because it's only through meditation, concentration, that you'll be able to achieve multiversal powers. And not astral powers. Some people have astral powers. I don't have astral powers. I don't care. I don't care about the stars because, you know, it doesn't really matter what the stars say or what the stars do when you can change reality all the time. It doesn't matter. I don't care what the stars are saying because I can change what the stars say. I can change the direction of a planet. I can change the direction of a star. I can change all that shit. So all the shit, all that astral shit becomes pointless. The horoscopes and astrology and all that, like it's you and what you make it to be. Of course, there is a relevance in astrology, obviously. They weren't crazy when they made that shit. The Egyptians were not crazy people, far from it. But even them, as much as they love astrology, they were more interested in death. But they do know everything about astrology. They're great astrologers. So does the Greeks. But the Greeks, even the Greeks, they weren't that interested in astrology, even though they knew everything. They already had knowledge on it, and then they took more knowledge from, you know, from Egypt and brought it to Alexandria and then burned it all. But that was the Romans' fault, not everybody's fault, but it was just the Romans' fault. And even the Romans took a little bit of that astrology and added it to their own shit using the planets, but they were more interested in war than astrology. And then the Greeks were more interested in philosophy than astrology, but everybody had astrology. Even I have astrology. I believe in the stars too. But I'm more interested in multiversal madness. Doctor Strange. And I am Doctor Strange. I'm a very strange person. You know. But I don't walk around with the eye of Vishanti on me and shit like that. You know what I mean? Now, wink, wink, wink. The eye of Vishanti, whatever. So, I feel like a lot of these people, I'm airing out people right now, in case you hadn't noticed. I'm punching the holes in all kinds of people right now. But that's only for the people that can read between the lines. That will notice that shit. Because at the end of the day, I believe that a lot of these so-called spiritualists, I believe that all of these so-called YouTubers actually are jealous of what you have. And they're trying to make sure that you feel like what you have is not real. Like it's some sort of conspiracy. Like the people, it happens to me too. I'm very paranoid. When you're Lucifer, you're actually calling on paranoia energy a little bit. You're very paranoid. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards myself, but Lucifer is a person that everybody is trying to either destroy, replace, or take advantage of. So when you're Lucifer, when you are Lucifer, you have to understand that you will feel, and you know so much, and you have seen so much, and you're capable of making sense out of so many things, that it's not impossible for people to try and do some mystical shit and go to the ends of the universe in order to replace you as king of hell. So you are calling on paranoia energy a little bit. But if you can deal with it, I deal with it fine. The people I might be with don't deal with it the same way. They might be annoyed. But to me, it's normal because I'm the king of hell. And everybody's trying to replace me. Even people that are part of my family, part of my ilk, are trying to replace me at a consistent basis, like Azazel. Azazel always is trying to replace me. I didn't know, like, sometimes I don't even see him coming. Azazel trying to replace me. Samael is one of my greatest creations, but he's always flip-flopping around. He's a cool guy, but he's trying to find his own place. He's an angel of death. So he has, like, you know, he's a death angel. So he has to, you know, he's finding his own way. I don't take it personal. Azazel, I kind of take it personal. You know, like, I kind of take it personal because he's always flip-flopping like that. Like, you know, it's not cool. It's very in your face with the treacherousness. You know, Baal too. Baal's not even a demon. He's not even a demon. That's Archangel Michael. He's just acting like a demon. And every time you call Baal, he acts all disgusting and shit just to get you scared and be like, oh shit, I made a mistake. I shouldn't be with demons. You know, demons don't act like he acts. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't act like that. Like I don't say weird shit and stupid shit for no reason. Like I said in my last video, most people don't know that, but Lucifer is a Buddhist. Where do you think Buddhism come from? I'm a Buddhist, man. I'm a Zen master. A lot of people think I'm some fucking crazy guy, fucking screaming and shit all the fucking time. Yeah, I'm an angry person for good reason. Because I am wrath itself. I have felt anger before anything else in the universe have felt anger. I am the first angry person. Ixnay on Cain. Because he's like a close second. So, and Cain is with us. Cain is a great person. And most people don't understand that story. Cain is a great guy. He got fooled by a bullshit entity. Cain is a great person. Yes, he's anger. Yes, he's a savage. But he's a savage and he's angry because he was a good person and then he got fucked over. Pardon my language. I don't mean to disrespect nobody. I don't want to insult Cain's intelligence because he's probably more intelligent than I am. Probably knows more than I do. Probably. Most assuredly. Maybe. But that's what happened. And a lot of people don't understand the parables and the metaphor of his story. So yeah, I'm angry. But I'm not crazy. I am a Zen master. I created Zen. I know all these things. I am perfection. So yeah, like I said before, my anger, my emotions, which I do feel, make me paranoid, but I'm not emotionally paranoid. I'm just paranoid. So I might suspect you of wrongdoings, but it's my place to do the so. I don't have a choice. I'm the king of hell. I'm the king of hell. Do you understand how much people want to destroy me? You know, especially with all the lies on TV and that big old book with 3,000 pages explaining to you how much of a bad guy I am. 3,000 pages. That's a lot of hate. You know what I mean, bro? Like that's a bit a lot, bro. There's covenants, churches built all around the fact that I exist. So it's a lot to take in. Pardon me. It's a lot to take in. And it just goes with the territory, man. So anyways, if I do act a certain way with you, I'm not doing it on purpose. And you should not take it that badly either, because I'm just being myself, kind of. I'm not saying it's right, but it happens. And I know, I'm in somewhere in my head, I know I might be tripping, but I'd rather ask than just sitting there and really going into an anxiety mode and, you know, can't breathe and shit and be like in panic mode. That's not, you know, that's not how I do things. So the point I'm trying to make here is you can use the laws of attraction, you can use magic, you can use mysticism, shit. I mean, if you know how, you can use astrology to attract a person that you'll be happy with, or a person that you want to do something with. You know, you can do it. Anybody can. There's nothing wrong with it. Now you might feel guilt, and that's the reason why it doesn't work. Because you feel that's unnatural to create something out of nothing. To bypass your religious teachings, to bypass everything that was taught to you as a child growing up, to bypass all the social norms that people have given to you in order to attract a specific person into your life that you will feel comfortable with, and be like, I'm gonna just sit here and I'm gonna think about someone I want to be with, and then I'm gonna project myself onto reality, and that person will come out of wherever they will come out of, and bada bing, bada boom. Me personally, I had to choose a timeline. So me, I understand there's one human Lilith in my reality, but there's also 900 million Liliths all over the world, all over the globe. And then there's 900 million more multiversally times 100 times 1,000 times infinity. So if I rather be with Lilith, then I'll just have to choose one. And that's it. So, that's enough secrets for today. Did you get any of that? This might have went right over your head. I understand it's complicated. You might have to listen to this video more than once, obviously. But if you listen to this video and you do the work, you can attract whoever you want. You can be with who you want. You can have as much pleasure as you would like to have, you know, and whatever, you know, it's your thing. It's not about Because there's a lot of people that feel guilty about sex because society makes you feel guilty about physical intimacy. You know, I don't think being in a relationship is only about physical intimacy. Obviously, you shouldn't feel bad if someone comes into your life and they are specifically there to help you do the things that you want to do and be loved by you at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not manipulative for doing so. There's nothing manipulative about it. It's just how things work. It's just how things goes. It's normal. It's very normal. So anyway, this video is too damn long. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out. Oh, and don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel. Peace.